Hey, I'm Rod Cate. On August 14, 1981, I broke my neck playing high school football, leaving me paralyzed from the neck down. In a split second, I went from athlete to quadriplegic. After being told that my chances to ever walk again were almost zero, I worked my way back up to walking and, more importantly, to living. This podcast aims to motivate you not to allow life's sometimes devastating twists and turns ruin your quest for your best life through not only my eyes, but the lives of many of my future guests. Welcome to Rocket Motivation. I'm Rod Cate. So the question you might have is, why do I want to spend my time listening to Rocket Motivation? There's a lot of other motivational podcasts out there. So what I think I will do right now, or what I want to do, is kind of give you my credentials. So here's my street cred on why I can talk about motivation. Let me start by telling you my story. When I was 15 years old, I was growing up in King, North Carolina. I was a pretty good athlete back then. All the students in high school that wanted to play football, we went to what's called football camp, and we practiced 3 times a day, and then camp culminated with an inter-squad scrimmage where, everybody's in the full uniform. The whole town is there, under the lights. I mean, it's, for me, being a rising sophomore, 15 years old, well, this was a huge deal, and I was the starting free safety on defense. Well, the scrimmage started with the first-string defense going up against an offense. Back then, the best players played both ways, so the offense we went against was not the regular offense that we had. Actually, the starting guard, kid about 6'3", 6'4", weighed about 260 pounds. He thought it'd be fun to play tight end since he would never be able to do that in a real game. So first play from scrimmage, I'm playing free safety. I see it's going to be a pass across the middle. This big tight end, he's coming right at me. I see that I'm not going to be able to intercept the ball, so my thought is I'm going to show everybody in this stadium how hard this 15-year-old kid can hit. And so when the ball gets there, as soon as it touches his hands, I just light into him, and I hit him hard. He goes down, I go down. He got up. Unfortunately, I did not. When I hit him, I lowered my head too much, and I hit him with the crown of my head. Caught him right about the top of his thigh. And like I said, this guy was about, he weighed at least 265, 6'3", 6'4". He went on to play football at Wake Forest. I'm 15 years old. I'm maybe 6 feet tall, probably weigh about 160, 165. I hit him, and when I did, I shattered 2 vertebrae in my neck, and I badly damaged and bruised my spinal cord. I'm lying there on the ground, kind of face down with my helmet, or my face is kind of facing to the right, and I can see my right arm. Couldn't move anything. I mean, I'd been hurt before, but nothing like this. I went through the motion, okay, I'm going to try to get up. And so when I did that, I saw my right arm, and it rolled over on the grass. The scary part about this was I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it move. And after I saw that happen, there was no movement, no feeling, nothing after that. Being paralyzed, that feeling, it's something like, most people have never been paralyzed, of course. And it's a feeling like it's hard to even explain it. I mean, there's just nothing. You've got your head and your brain and your thinking, but it's almost as if your body's not even attached to you anymore. So, I was on the field for 20, 30 minutes. They take me down, put me in an ambulance, take me down to Baptist Hospital in Winston-Salem, which is the closest city around. I had surgery that night on my neck where they fused the 4th and 5th cervical vertebrae together. Wake up the next morning after the surgery, and I'm completely paralyzed from the neck down, no movement and no feeling. This went on for probably a good 2 to 3 weeks where I couldn't move anything. One thing I do remember, though, is the following morning, the neurosurgeon who did my surgery came in and just told me he didn't candy coat it, and he just said at point blank that, the chances of you walking again are not very good. When you're 15 years old, that's something kind of hard for your 15-year-old brain to comprehend. One day I'm laying in the bed, and this is about 3 weeks after my injury. I was looking at my feet, and I was thinking, all right, I'm going to try to move my feet. Well, when I did it, I had some movement. The small toe on my left foot beside my pinky toe barely moved. I tried it again, and the same toe moved again, which was pretty exciting for somebody who has not been able to move anything for 3 weeks. I did it again, just to make sure this wasn't a fluke or just some spasm, and it moved again on purpose. After that, over the next several days, movements just started coming back. I could start moving both feet and my legs. And when I say move, I don't mean up. It was like throwing my legs around the bed. I mean just, barely being able to move, but being able to move. The last thing that I could actually move were my arms and my hands. It's kind of interesting how the movement came from the feet up. But anyway, I was able to move about everything maybe within a month or so, after breaking my neck. And so once I started getting movement everywhere, they shipped me across town to a rehab facility where I started doing physical therapy every day. I mean, I'm just beginning to move again. But so, I'm doing these exercises, doing arm exercises, doing leg exercises. And then the day finally came where it was time for me to try to stand up. And so, there's probably 4 or 5 physical therapists in the room. They're pulling me up out of the wheelchair. They had put these long metal leg braces on, and I stood up for the first time to stand up since breaking my neck. It was quite a day. So then it was time to try to walk. And so I remember the first day I took 3 steps before just collapsing in exhaustion and sat back down. As the time progressed, I became, stronger and stronger and able to walk. And when I say walking is a generous term for what I was able to do. It was a kind of a herky-jerky motion, nothing fluid, and I was walking with crutches and walkers. So then it's time for me to be discharged. I mean, I've been there now, at the rehab facility for at least, a good 2 months. At this time, I'm walking with what, they call them forearm crutches. They have like my mom went down and she got the car, pulled it around at the rehab facility. I walked out, it was kind of anticlimactic. There's no party, no celebration. I just got in the car and we drove home. And I think, looking back on it, I think that was really important. I mean, it was a happy time, but there was no party, no celebration. The tone that was set from my parents was, look, this part of your life, the rehabbing is over. And now it's time to plug back in and you got to do something with your life. And I think that was important. So this wasn't the culmination of something big. This was the beginning of something new. And I think that was really important for me. So I went back to school, actually not back to school. I went to high school for the first time. It was the Monday after the Thanksgiving holiday. I had tutors that came in. So when I was at the rehab facility, so I wasn't behind in school. And I basically plugged right back into high school. Had a great time in high school, graduated valedictorian, and ironically gave my valedictorian speech on the same spot on the football field where I broke my neck because the stage was set up kind of right at midfield where it happened. So after high school, went to Davidson College where I got my BA in economics, graduated Phi Beta Kappa, then went on to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill where I got my law degree and my master's in business at the same time in the 4-year program. Moved to Mobile, Alabama in 1992. I've been practicing law for 28 years. I've got a family, 3 kids, all grown, been married for 28 years. And so now we're all caught up with my story. So a couple years ago, I wrote a book called Get Back Up. I guess you would call it a motivational memoir. But what it is, it's the story of my life and what I've gone through. The purpose of that book was just to give motivation to the reader. But, it's a different type of motivational book. I've seen or I've read other motivational books, and it seems like the way other motivational books are laid out, you have this tragic event, then you have the overcoming the tragic event, and then you have this one great moment or one great event or one great thing. For instance, you've got a runner who loses her leg, trains really hard and runs the Boston Marathon. Or you've got a mountain climber who loses his sight but trains real hard and climbs Mount Everest. Well, I think I've got the tragic event, the breaking my neck and being paralyzed from the neck down. I've got the overcoming, I've got the working to get back to where I could actually walk again. I think my great event is the fact that I've been able to live a normal life after this. I have a job. I get to go to work every day. I get to struggle to pay my bills when my kids were in college. I get to have arguments with my wife. I get to do the normal things that other people do. And that's all because I don't quit. No matter what happens, I just keep going on in my life. I don't mean a normal life for a handicapped person. I mean, that in itself, the definition of a handicapped person is interesting. I mean, I clearly have a physical handicap, but there's other kind of handicaps. You can have depression, you can have other psychiatric problems, you can have mental issues, you can have spiritual issues. One thing we're not going to do on this podcast is compare handicaps. Whose is worse? It's all about taking whatever you have and making the best life you can. And I want that to be kind of the theme of this podcast. This isn't about one great event or one moment in life. This is about building a life. It's about taking what has happened to you and every day making the best life you can. Okay, so the name of the podcast is Rocket Motivation. So where did I come up with that name? It's pretty simple. Rocket is the nickname that my college buddies gave me. That's what they call me, is Rocket, which is ironic because, I walk very slowly and basically do struggle to walk. And so Rocket is really not the nickname that fits me, but it's kind of one of the ironic nicknames, like some large person, you call them tiny. I've taken the Rocket and I've, paired it with motivation, and that's the name of the podcast. Thanks for listening to the show. I'm really excited about this for me, and I'm really excited about this for you. I hope you'll join me and listen to all the other episodes. It's not only going to be about me talking, but I'm going to have guests on the show that have inspired me. And I hope when they talk about their journey, they will inspire you so we can all go on this journey together. It's all about overcoming adversity. It's all about overcoming obstacles in our life so we can hopefully have the best life we can. I'm looking forward to us all going on this journey together. If you're interested in getting my book, Get Back Up, it's available on Amazon. Just go to Amazon and put in Get Back Up and my name, Rod Cate, and it'll pop right up. I would love it if you would subscribe to the podcast and rate and review the show wherever you listen to your podcasts. I would really appreciate it if you'd share it with a friend. I would like as many people to hear my message as possible, and we'll see you next week.